Update of this post. A lot has happened over the last day, and I wanted to address some of the concerns raised in the comments. One of the big worries was that my mother-in-law might be forced out of the home. That isn't something we are concerned about. My brother-in-law made it very clear that culturally and personally, he sees it as his responsibility to care for her. He said directly that it is her home and that her place there is secure. Whatever else is happening, her housing is not at risk. There were further conversations between my wife, my mother-in-law, my brother-in-law, and my sister-in-law, and the tone of things has shifted a little. My mother-in-law was offered the option of living with us if she ever wants or needs to. This is practical because she has stayed with us for months before. Although the language barrier makes day-to-day life harder for her where we live, she knows now that she has a place to go. That seems to have given her some peace of mind. They also talked about the jewelry. A few pieces were passed on to other family members, with everyone agreeing. This wasn't done as punishment or to resolve the conflict by giving things up. It was mainly to show my mother-in-law that she is free to handle her belongings as she chooses, and that her possessions aren't something anyone else gets to demand or control. The goal was to reaffirm her autonomy, not take anything away from her. My mother-in-law did say again that the recordings captured the kind of private, informal gossip that often happens between a mother and daughter, and that she can be blunt in those conversations. Everyone understands that. The bigger issue was always how the recordings came to be and how they were brought up. My sister-in-law also shared how she feels. She said that even after many years of marriage, she sometimes still feels like a bit of an outsider, and that attempts to get closer can fall flat because my mother-in-law is naturally quiet and reserved, with everyone, not just with her. That doesn't explain everything that happened, but it does help make sense of why the situation touched a nerve. The tension between them didn't start here. This incident simply brought existing feelings to the surface. Some commenters familiar with Indian family dynamics will know that daughter-in-law criticism can be a pattern in some households. My sister-in-law is very aware of that dynamic, which probably made the recordings feel sharper to her than they may have been intended. For what it's worth, I agree that this pattern can be harmful, and I don't think anyone involved here wants to repeat it. In this case, my mother-in-law's comments were private venting, not part of anything bigger, but I can understand how cultural context shapes how it was heard. My brother-in-law also explained that his goal was to ease the long-standing friction between my mother-in-law and my sister-in-law, and to make sure his wife was treated kindly. While the way it came out caused upset, it's clear he wasn't trying to isolate or control his mother. It also matters that he has a long history of being generous within the family. Gift-giving is a big part of family life here, and he has always participated in that wholeheartedly. This situation doesn't reflect his usual behavior. It seems more connected to a mix of personalities, misunderstandings, and emotions running high. As for the phone, my mother-in-law now understands that WhatsApp calls cannot be recorded and is being more mindful about how she communicates and who handles her phone. She made it clear that she values her privacy, and with everyone now aware of the sensitivity around this, I think that boundary will be respected. Things are still a little tense, but my mother-in-law seems more reassured that her belongings aren't up for debate and that she isn't isolated. I don't expect decades of personality differences to resolve immediately, but the immediate pressure has eased and everyone is talking more calmly. I genuinely believe most of this comes from people who care about one another but have different temperaments and expectations. My mother-in-law is quiet and easily overwhelmed. My sister-in-law is more expressive and wants to feel included. And my brother-in-law is caught between wanting peace and wanting everyone to feel respected. None of that is unusual in a large family, and all of it is fixable with a bit more openness. My hope is that things stabilize in a way the whole family, including the children, can look back on without bitterness. If anything significant changes, I'll update again. I know a lot of you were wanting an update, so here we are. I will also add background information and clarification as I wrote this while my head was spinning 1,000 miles per hour. 1. Her child is 10 years old. I can see how the 10-year-old male could be confusing. 2. Yes, my girlfriend is bisexual. Yes, Alyssa, who originally found her profile, is also bisexual. I imagine Alyssa sent the screen recording to Anna because either she felt Anna and I were closer, or because Alyssa wasn't at work but Anna and I were. Not sure, didn't ask. But to the ones who suspect that they're just trying to break us up for no reason or out of jealousy, that isn't it.
Okay, so after my girlfriend was done with her online class and after her son was in bed, we both sat down on the couch to talk. It took me a few seconds to get the words out of my own mouth, but I told her that I was shown a video of her Tinder account, to which she replied, "Who showed you?" And that pretty much answered all my questions, and my head started to spin even faster. I told her that I wasn't sure why that was even relevant right now, but she insisted, so I told her Anna showed it to me. She has also met Anna and knows that Anna is straight, 6 months pregnant, and married. I told her that Alyssa had sent it to her and she showed it to me. Again, questioning why this was relevant, I again asked her if she was on Tinder. She replied yes. She admitted to downloading it a week ago and attempting to match with women for flirtatious conversations and attention. She did show me the messages, and I confirmed that they were all with women, that they were all just flirtatious conversations. She assured me that she had no intentions further than flirtatious conversations, and I believed that as she is 30 pounds heavier now and rocking a pixie cut, but still using photos from 3+ years ago. She said she just downloaded the app and logged right back in and didn't edit anything about the profile from before. She also got very defensive. She brought up an argument from the past, trying to deflect and somehow make me look like the asshole here. I called her out on it, but was also trying to keep my cool, in between still trying to come to terms that this was really happening. The last year hasn't been easy for us. Between health issues, job issues, the cost of living going up, and getting laid off work issues, it's been rough. She said she's felt like something has been missing between us lately, that she's so lost that she doesn't know what she's doing. She sobbed and told me she made a really stupid mistake, to which I agreed. I told her how stupid I felt because when I was shown the video by my friends, I almost just laughed it off because it was so out of left field and the photos were old and stuff. I told myself there's no way. I don't know what to do. As said previously, we have lived together for 2 years. I contribute my income to the home mortgage and all other monthly bills. She co-signed on the car I bought because I started developing credit late and had bad credit. We have the same phone plan, we're on the same car insurance. So much of my life is wrapped up in the relationship. I don't know where to begin unraveling it. I don't know where to go. Currently, I think I am sticking it out here until I can build up my credit and hopefully my savings. I just got laid off at one job, so I'm working part-time in the emergency room until I start my new job December 1st. I'm honestly just so lost myself. I know I should leave, but I care about her. I'm scared to put her and her son in a bad spot. After the year she's had, I don't know what she would do. She doesn't have a support system behind her. She has me. Hey everyone, I'm using a throwaway for privacy. I'm a 25-year-old Asian immigrant, and my boyfriend is a 30-year-old local Caucasian. We've been together for 5 years, and I'm really struggling with the reoccurring issue that has me questioning our entire relationship. I need some outside perspective because I don't know what to do. Incident 1. About a month ago, I woke up in the middle of the night with sudden, excruciating lower abdominal pain. I'm not exaggerating when I say it was worse than my appendicitis pain. I was literally screaming and crying. I had read about corpus luteum ruptures and was terrified. I begged my boyfriend to take me to the ER. I was too sick to drive my own car. He refused, not just once, but every time I asked. His reasoning was that the ER wouldn't do anything and I'd just be in pain in a different location. He said I should just wait it out and would feel better soon. I cried in agony for over 3 hours. Eventually, he started saying, "Fine, I could take you," but then would immediately follow it with, "But you need to know it's a waste of time and they won't help you." It felt like he was trying to talk me out of my own pain. The pain finally calmed down after about 5 hours total, and I passed out from exhaustion. I was fine the next day, so I tried to just forget it ever happened. Incident 2. 1 week ago. I got hit with a bad case of food poisoning. Vomiting, diarrhea, stomach ache. I couldn't keep even water down. I had a midterm the next day and was worried that I wouldn't make it. I asked to go to the ER again. My boyfriend refused again. Same script, you'll waste 6 hours there for no reason. This time, I called an Uber and went by myself. At the ER, they gave me some hydration thing and told me to go home and wait for the doctor to call. The whole thing took less than 10 minutes. So I Ubered home and took it easy for the rest of the day. Now, I told my mom about both incidents. She is a very traditional Asian and believes in seeking medical help. She is now deeply displeased with him and thinks I should break up. She said, if something is wrong, it's always better to be at the hospital. I'm stuck because I can't get over this. This isn't a one-off. It's a pattern that has happened a few times throughout our relationship whenever I'm sick or hurt. His default is to dismiss my need for medical care. For context, he is not a recluse. He goes out with his friends to bars and pubs at least once a week, so it's not like he's avoiding going out altogether. I feel a massive breach of trust. When I was at my most vulnerable and in genuine distress, he wasn't my partner. He was an obstacle. My mom's disapproval is adding pressure, but my own hurt is the real issue. I'm at a loss here and don't know what to do. In summary, my boyfriend has refused to take me to the ER during 2 medical incidents: excruciating pain and severe food poisoning. I went alone for the second one. My mom wants me to break up with him, and I'm struggling with the broken trust.
In the whirlwind of a complex situation, I found myself entangled in a web of emotions and misunderstandings, all stemming from a painful mistake. My husband and I are working through his recent infidelity, while our circle of friends grapples with a similar heartbreak. Another couple in our social circle just ended their relationship due to the girlfriend's unfaithfulness. This unhappiness, while unrelated to my own, casts a shadow over our shared environment. As I navigated through the day, lost in a phone conversation with my husband, he requested a picture. In a moment of carelessness, my finger clicked too hastily on the contact name, unaware I was sending the image to someone other than my husband. The receiver was a mutual friend, not my partner. Unwittingly, I shared an inappropriate photo meant only for my husband's eyes. Within seconds, the recipient messaged me, informing me of the error. Panic surged through my mind. I hung up with my husband and with a trembling voice, dialed the friend, pleading with him to delete the image and promise not to view it. He vindicated my fears, assuring me he hadn't looked and promptly deleted it. Despite my genuine apology and our mutual understanding, a lingering guilt remained. I then retraced my steps with my husband, explaining the unfortunate mistake. He seemed forgiving and we pressed forward, albeit with that weight on our shoulders. In an effort to clear the air, I called the female friend, soon to be ex of the mutual male friend. She was the last piece to this puzzling situation, and I wanted transparency. I recounted the events with sincerity, emphasizing the accidental nature of the mistake. She responded with understanding, and our call ended on a positive note. Yet, the storm was far from over. Today, as I reclined in the comfort of my quiet home, a somber cloud hovered as my husband returned from work. A call from the very same female friend had ignited a blaze of misconceptions. She had hinted at a far deeper, malicious intent behind my mistake. My husband, hurt once more, struggled to reconcile this new revelation with my apology. He questioned my truth and the motives behind the entire episode. Now, everyone perceives me as someone who intentionally betrayed trust, when in reality, I was blinded by a mistake. I've tried everything: apologizing, offering assurances, even suggesting a temporary disconnect. But the whispers of doubt persist, and I'm painted with the same brush as those who've panned their infidelities as innocence. I am left here drowning in embarrassment and guilt, yearning for a way to mend the broken threads of trust and friendship. The weight of my actions, though unintentional, has left a mark I never imagined. In the chaos of it all, I am grappling to find a way to right my ship, to navigate through the murky waters of distrust and to restore the bonds that were so undeservedly shaken.
To recap, my former best friend forever ghosted me without a clear reason. When I reached out to ask if anything I had said or done had upset her, she left me on red for years. Reading your responses has been helpful. Thanks for the reality check. Prior to sharing this, a small part of me hoped we could be best friends again. Now, I realize that's not only impossible, but unwise. Whatever her reasoning may have been, I know that I deserve better than to be left on red for years. I am kind. I am receptive. When I've hurt someone, I listen, apologize, and make amends. I assume she didn't have the capacity to talk things over. But it doesn't take a lot to say, hey, I am drowning right now and I love you but don't have time to talk or write. Please don't blame yourself. I'll be in touch someday. But instead, she said nothing for years. I'm not ready to forgive that. And I know that if we talked, I'd not only forgive her, but would probably end up asking her to forgive me. Like many women, I say sorry too often. Yes, I am working on boundaries. More on that below. So the update is this. I messaged her saying that not knowing why she cut off contact had been very difficult, that she had hurt me deeply, and that while my first instinct after her father died had been to support her, I just wasn't ready to be in touch again. I'm guessing some of you are groaning or cursing at me right now. Most of you really wanted to know why. At first I did too. But this situation is fresh for you. I've been sitting with it for years. To me, her reasoning is less important than the pain she caused and could easily cause again. Sharing this helped me realize that I'd rather continue to enjoy the happiness I found without her than risk it by chasing her down and forcing a conversation that neither of us seemed eager to have. Chasing unavailable people is a habit that her disappearance helped me break. I caught myself regressing when she kept leaving me on red and I kept messaging. That was a mistake on my part, one that left me feeling really shitty. I won't do that again. So now what? Now I keep doing the good work in therapy to process this hurt and anger and dig into whether I'm willing to risk more pain to give her the chance to explain herself. If and when I do get back in touch, I'll consider whether mutual effort is being made. What I won't do, now or ever, is chase down someone who ghosted me just to find out why. The why is less important than the what, because what happened was incredibly painful, and not an experience I care to repeat. Impact over intent, always. If we ever reconnect, I'll probably share it here. Until then, thanks for listening. And to anyone facing a similar dilemma, if it's not an enthusiastic yes, it's a no. That applies to consent, to all parties in friendships and relationships, and to how our bodies respond in situations like these. Mine had been saying hard pass for a while now. I'm glad I finally listened.